So if you're watching this, you're probably trying to sign your first client, or you've just got your first client, or you're thinking about starting an AI agency. So I'm just going to kind of explain my process and exactly how I kind of went about getting my first client, how long it took me, everything like that. Because, I hear a lot of people talking about how to get your first client, how to do this, but everyone's kind of experience on getting their first client's a little different. But I'm just going to kind of give y'all mine so y'all can understand, what realistically it looks like getting your first client. You're not going to probably get it in 1 week, 1 day, maybe not even a month. Especially if you come into this with no experience, right? There's going to be growing pains of like figuring shit out. Like, what do I do? You probably don't know anything about it. Regardless, you may know how to build everything, but you don't understand how to sell things. You don't really understand how to like run a business, even, if that makes sense. So let me kind of go into how I got my first client, what industry they were in or niche, like how I know them and everything like that. So I just actually got my first client. That's why I'm making this video. It took me probably about 6 months. Okay. And it's like, damn, you can get a client way faster than that, but I did not know what the fuck I was doing. Okay. So I would say 3 of those 4 months, I'm trying to figure out what my offer is going to be. Am I going to do, because I'm just learning about AI. So, at the first year, I'll look at different business models to start. Probably how you're even on this video. Probably did the same thing. And I see selling AI automations to businesses, or like selling AI to businesses, local businesses or whatever. I'm just asking ChatGPT, like, what are the best businesses to start in 2026 or whatever. And it was me and my brother or whatever. And we were like, what does that even mean? Like, just copy and pasting emails, like automate their emails, like they just copy and paste from ChatGPT. Like, everybody knows how to do that. Like, I had no clue anything. Like, I didn't know what NAN was. I didn't know what Claude Code was. None of this stuff. So then I started going down a rabbit hole of learning Claude, and everything like that, and getting into like AI automation and stuff. So that's what I was going to do at first. I started calling some businesses, like local businesses or whatever, trying to sell that. Didn't really know what I was selling. I was trying to be too broad. I was trying to sell everything. I would try to sell like every automation. Like, we automate. There was no direct offer on what exactly like I did. It was just like, yeah, we can automate your business, blah, blah, blah. Like, just not knowing what I'm doing, the growing pain side of it, still trying to figure out. So I probably started doing that because I learned everything for about a month. Then after that, I kind of started trying to, that's when I started reaching out. That was probably March, April-ish. Got some people interested. Actually met with a few people in person and talked to them. And I mean, nothing ever actually like materialized from it. And then I would say around the end of April, I started this like AI channel or whatever, TikTok mainly. And I got that to like 50,000 followers now. And then I just created an Instagram and then this YouTube as well. Later, I mean, that I just created those two recently. But anyways, the whole point being is I kind of just started like posting about AI. I'm like, how can I actually make money with AI? I keep seeing all this stuff like, should I do some type of education with it? It's kind of going to go down that route. Like, but then I realized like my market, like I have a school community, but it's like 500 people. And it's just like beginner AI. So that's not really the market I would even want to educate or anything like that. Like, I was just trying to get people in the community. Don't even know what I was really doing with that. Just kind of the same thing I was doing, I guess, with this channel. Like, I'm just talking about AI, things I know, things I don't. AI is big right now, so everyone's trying to learn AI. And then I would say really probably June, the end of June. Okay, I kind of figured out like what I'm going to do, my offer exactly, and how exactly, like, kind of more to run it. Like, I found some other people on YouTube, joined a community of other AI agency owners and stuff like that. And essentially, I'm more doing like a marketing offer than just like, hey, I sell automation, because here's the reason, right? You can frame it as AI agency, but you're kind of just, you're more of a marketing agency, I would say. But like with the AI in there, because AI agency is big. Like, you can do AI with, like, where the AI comes in is kind of you incorporate the AI caller into your marketing, right? Or you could also, sell them that not only just as an AI caller for their leads, but like as a receptionist too. But the reason why I think that's a better offer is because you're bridging the gap. You're not just handing them like a tool, like, you know what I'm saying? You're not giving them a brick. You're actually giving them a bridge to the other side. And it's kind of hard to replace a bridge. And what I mean by that is, like, when you're running ads, or, you're the direct cause of their revenue increasing and them making more money, you're kind of like, it's hard to replace you, right? So with this, it's kind of like you're really integrating yourself inside of their system. Versus with automation, you can definitely do that too. I'm not saying it's not possible at all. But you give them just, a system or automation, like, you can build the automation, charge a monthly retainer. But like overall, like, it's harder for the people to see the value in that. You have to be marketing to the right people that really understand and see the value in AI. Not just like, oh, like, most people don't really gonna see the value of, like, why should I pay $10,000 for you to incorporate AI into my company when, like, I don't really need it. Like, they don't understand the value. So one, you're going to have to market to the right people, obviously, that see the value in AI if you're going to sell automations. And just most people aren't going to see the value in that, being completely honest. Like, right now, it'll probably take a few more years for people to really see the value in just, AI automation or whatever alone. I'm not saying people see the value of, like, how much time it could save them, but like, if you could actually sit down and like get inside their system and be like, look, I can actually develop this whole thing with Claude that does this, like, people would probably see the value. But to get people to understand that is kind of tough right now. But anyways, I'm kind of going off on a tangent. Overall, I just think you essentially, when you make people more money, they're gonna be more inclined to see, one, they're gonna see the value in it instantly. Like, it's numbers, it's just statistic. It's like, I made you more money. There's nothing to argue about. I don't have to justify you using this. Like, do you want to make more money or not? Right? So I'm going off on a huge tangent here. But let me kind of jump into how I just got my first client, everything like that. Even though that's what I guess my whole story was leading up to. Anyways, like, so this is how I got my first client. So I have a friend, he runs a mobile detailing company, and we've kind of talked. He already knows what I'm kind of doing. He just quit his job to do that full time. And he knows about the AI automation and everything I was doing with that. But then I kind of told him more about like the marketing side and my offer and everything like that. So he was like, yeah, and he was interested essentially. And we just kind of move forward. But let me kind of tell y'all how I think y'all should go about getting your first client. Obviously, you're going to hear a lot of people say, reach out to people you know. Yes, well, absolutely. Your first client, the easiest way to get it is through people you know. There's no doubt about that. And I would say with your first client, don't even charge. Now, for me, like with the ad spend, obviously the person's going to have to pay the ad spend. Like, I'm not going to pay the ad spend, but anything else, I'm not doing any even like pay per appointment or anything. I'm like just looking at experience over like any of the money at first. Okay. Like even if you got money anyways, it's going to be very small. Like if you're charging in the beginning, and the only way I would say charge is if you know what you're doing. But if you know what you're doing, you're probably not watching this video, I would say. So I would just say, don't charge at the beginning. Get the experience, okay? And then you're obviously got to know what you're offering. But with this, like I know him, so I can talk to him on a real level. Like, hey, I'm still figuring this shit out. I don't necessarily know. I can't sit here and promise you. I'm not promising you shit. But this is what I do know. I've actually done it myself. I've ran ads myself. You know, I've booked appointments. You know, whatever I've seen actually work. I know how to run them. I know the concept of it. I'm still really new. I can't sit here. Have I done it for anybody yet? No, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and like pretend like I'm the guru of ads. And like when I run ads for you, you're going to just, you know, do like $300,000 next month or just whatever. You know, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like the person I know him on a personal level. So obviously that makes it a lot easier too. Like I don't have to sit there and lie or like have to be a salesperson or like fake it or anything like that, which I think sometimes that's just better in general. Like if you can just be real with the people you're working with and everything like that, you're not going to feel pressure to be like performative and fake and like, you know, pretend essentially. Like it's just, hey, this is it. This is what it is. Like, I mean, obviously there's a whole thing to like sales and everything like that on a call, but I'm saying whenever it comes to like working with somebody, always under promise and over deliver. Because if you under promise and over deliver, one, you're gonna keep the client because they expected way less and you over delivered that. So like that in itself. But also you don't have to put no fake pressure or like all this pressure on yourself to like do this or that, or you know, have these crazy expectations or anything. You know, if you think you can get them 10 more clients, say you can get them 5 or whatever it is. Like if you under promise and over deliver, you'll keep clients. But yeah, I think that's kind of everything with, you know, obviously the people you're going to reach out to are friends and family. Obviously that's the easiest too. You know, friends and family, anyone got a business, anything like that. Obviously, then if no one does, I would start local in your area, maybe a friend of a friend. It's just, and if you don't have that, the next recommendation, right? Because some of you watching that don't have that, right? Some of y'all might be young as hell watching this shit and wouldn't ever, like, you know what I'm saying? Have anyone like, not that you know, but like a friend, like you're 15 years old. You're not going to have that. You're 16 years old. You're not going to have that. Like, you could be older and not have, you know, friends that own businesses or whatever. But if you don't, like I said, I would start locally. I'm sure there's somebody in your local area that you know, but that being said, like, it's harder to, I guess, like, everyone, like, no one's gonna really like respect you because you're coming from, and not just from, like, it don't matter if you're just doing it locally. Like, if you don't know the person, even if you know them, like, they're not really gonna like respect what you're doing. It's kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, you're gonna have to like really prove your worth, like, because you're kind of coming to them like begging for an opportunity in a way. And like most of the time all the time, like, if you're coming begging, like, that's how you're gonna get perceived. Like, you just don't have much leverage there because you're kind of begging for an opportunity, which is fine. Like, you have to get the experience. You're gonna have to start. Like, you have to start somewhere, and the experience is essential. If you don't have clients, you don't have a business. So it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it's just a made up like thing in your head. If you don't have clients, you're just kind of like, oh, I'll get clients. Like, oh, well, if you don't have clients, you're not even a real business. Like, you're a pretend business. Like, honestly, you're just a pretend business if you don't have clients. Like, really. So, and I think people too, this is a whole nother tangent of thing. Don't get all like worried about stupid shit that don't matter. A website or this. I'm gonna go get my LLC. I'm gonna go do this. You don't have a client. Why are you doing that shit? No one gives a fuck about your business. No one's looking you up. No one even knows you exist. Okay? No one knows it. No one knows it. You don't even have one client. Why would anyone even be looking at you? You don't even have any proof of work. Okay? So, like, worrying about all this irrelevant shit, don't worry about any of that shit. Worry about getting a client, okay? A single human person, okay? You need a client. Client equals money. If you don't have client, you have no money. You have no money, you have no business. Okay? It's that simple. So, all that being said, I don't even know what was said, but I went off on so many tangents. If you watched all the way to the end, salute to you. You're a soldier for watching through these ramblings and randomness of just tangents. But yeah, if you've got your first client, comment down below how exactly you got your first client and some tips for people trying to get their first clients. And if you haven't got your first client, comment down below, like, just a question, and I'll try to answer it. Okay, but that's gonna be the end to the video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe.